Bonjour tout le monde! Welcome back to Parisian street style with me, Farah. Today's video is going to be a bit of a story time, and if you're going to be all about how I found my personal style and the image. So without further ado, let's get into it, and I can't wait to share this story with you. Okay, so this story, as all stories do, starts in childhood, starts in our younger years. So I'm going to go back there and I'm going to tell you how this unfolded, how this finding my personal style unfolded in my life. Before I go into the whole story, I would love to introduce myself. For those of you who are new to me, my name is Farah Asif. I am a personal brand and image mentor for entrepreneurs and for other coaches, other mentors, other healers. Clients come to me when they have done everything they can to create their business, or they're starting. So there's two types. Either they're starting, either they've created their business and they feel their next level is coming. Their next level of image, their next level in their branding, their next level of style. And I'm a divine channel, a psychic channel. So I do channel a lot of messages for them. I channel their brand, I channel their next level style. And this opened up for me. My gifts really came online in 2020. This is really kind of new for me to be speaking about this on here. I have only started talking about my journey as an entrepreneur on here and what is it that I do. And so this is actually what I do. I work with my clients internationally, online and in person. They do brand shoots in Paris with me, or else I travel to locations and we do incredible magical brand shoots. That really anchor in that next level style and image and is completely aligned to who they want to bring in. Because at first, and this is like in anything, we have to have the vision. With the vision, there's the anchoring of the vision. We have to bring the vision from the ether on to the earth, into the ground. And my work is exactly that. I'm the bridge between the heaven and the earth. And this is so special for me to speak about, because for the first 30 years of my life, I was literally just contending with a lot of emotional abuse, physical abuse at home. My home life was not calm. And when you're growing as a young person, when the outer world isn't calm, there's so much to contend with already in the inner world. Like there's so much tumultuousness going on when you're trying to figure out your identity and who you are. It's so connected to your image. So I had a really short self-esteem. I didn't hardly have any self-confidence. And it was all connected to the abuse that was happening in my home. All the drama, all the beliefs that I was internalizing about myself did not give me the space to cultivate any kind of self-image, self-perception and self-identity that I could feel happy with or proud of. So yeah, for the first 30 years, it was just all about experimenting with my life choices, figuring out what is the good choice for me. I got married. I said yes to going into a very orthodox Muslim community when I married my ex-husband. it was my choice. I also took on a full hijab and abaya. Now, hijab is when you cover your head, cover all your hair, and abaya is when you cover all your clothes. So usually it's seen as like in a black garment. I used to wear like full length tailored coats because of course that fashion element always was there, and I still wanted to be elegant and I wanted to be chic. But I didn't have a good sense of style, personal style, and it was kind of a here and there, dipping my toe here, dipping my toe there. And at 27, we went our separate ways because of cultural reasons, because of so many reasons, honestly. Like we were just not a good fit. And I had already had my baby a year before, and he was 1 when we split up. So there I was, back at home, back at my parents in Bangkok. I was raising my child alone. I was newly divorced. I was lost, completely lost, because the abusive childhood plus contending with the teenage tumultuous, not knowing what I am, what I do, how I do it, and just like experimentation, and then going into a marriage with a lot of expectations, a lot of weight, a lot of change, like huge change. This is like another story that I could tell, which is not for this video, but there was just so much, my life was always like this. Like, if you can imagine a washing machine that's spinning on a continuous spin cycle, that was me. On a continuous spin cycle, there was no calm, there was no time to chill and be still and really anchor in and really discover who I am. Okay, so 27, this is what happened, the huge massive change in my life. Also, since I got married pretty young from out of university, I didn't end up having a career at all because of the lifestyle, because of the orthodox community I went into. I just went into being a wife full-time, being a wife, being part of the family, doing all the things that I was expected to do, the duties, and taking on all of that. So there was no really time for career. I did a training in early Montessori, so early childhood pedagogy. I have a degree in that. This was the only thing that I was doing, and before that I had gotten a degree to work in advertising. So I had started working in advertising a little bit and I got a degree in it, but before I could do anything with my career, I got married. And it was like something that I wanted. I decided, because I didn't feel that being in advertising was the right fit for me either. So there was no loss and no love lost there. It was just didn't feel good. So I had the choice to go back into advertising, or what am I going to do now with my life? And I was at this massive crossroads of deciding, am I going to go into a full-fledged career in the degree that I got, or am I going to do something part-time and figure out what is it that I wanted to do? Of course, me also raising my son, there were so many responsibilities, being a mama, and I was like, I can only do something part-time. So I worked part-time in real estate. I was very good at client interfacing, being the middleman between the client and the realtor, and doing all this kind of in-between management work. So that's what I did, and I was working in that just a few hours a week. And during that time I was also getting supported from my parents, a lot of help from them, and raising my son. And that was all I was doing. It's just being a mom And I felt really, really, really unfulfilled. I felt like I wasn't me still. I was still like wearing the hijab and not feeling completely aligned, like less and less aligned with, you know, hiding myself. When I first took it on, I have to be very clear that it felt like an empowered choice. It felt like it was something that I wanted to explore in my life. And I'm so glad I did it, because now I know how it feels. I also know the image I project when I wear it. And that's so, so powerful. When I can see the differences between me without hijab and me with, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with anyone's life and religious choices. Like, I love that I was empowered to do that. I love it, and I would probably do it again if I could, because it was the experience. Let's say if I had to go back and do it again, if I was at that point in my life, I would choose that, because it was the right thing for me to do at that time. I fit really, really well with my ex-husband's family. It was the perfect thing to do for the lifestyle, for the whatever I had signed up for. I stand behind my decision 100%, 1000%. But coming out of that life, it was no longer aligning with who I was and who I truly was, who I was figuring out. And so I decided to de-hijab, is what I call it. I started with, you know, wearing the hijab kind of more like a cool turban. I used to like let little bits of hair out, and it just started to feel really, really like not what it's meant to be, you know, because hijab is meant to cover your hair. So it was like either you're in or you're out. Don't put one foot in and out, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah. So it just started to feel like not in integrity, and I don't like that. I like my decisions to be 100% in integrity. So I decided this is like, I'm going to stop doing it. And it was a huge decision, because for the past, I feel like it was 5 years that I had worn hijab. And so to de-hijab was massive for me. It was the right thing to do though, absolutely, because I was feeling also unaligned with practicing Islam. And when I was married, I was very religious. I was practicing, I was fasting. I didn't want to do any of that. So along with the de-hijabbing, along with my searching for myself, soul searching, and finding what is aligned with me and what decisions are feeling in integrity with who I am, I decided to, my style also began to change. What I wore began to change, because now without the hijab, I was also free to dress in a different way. I was free to wear different things. And remember that I didn't have a personal style, but it also gave me the opportunity to try this, try that, try a lot. And some days, you know, I would be like, oh my god, what am I wearing? Like, it's like a clown suit, because it was totally like mismatched and weird. But what's amazing is that I gave myself the grace to try, the grace to play. And I never had that before, because before I was so in the tumultuous emotions, in the other people's drama. Here, where I was in my life, there was no drama. I had matured so much. I knew that I was totally worthy of this exploration and this time to figure out like what I like, what I love. And I absolutely love this period of my life. Is precious, because it was the time when I started my YouTube channel. I started another channel, not this channel. And I was beginning to speak about what I loved on there. I was beginning to share about my passions, and it was the start of creating my own tribe, creating my own community, my own legacy, if you will. Because when you're a personal brand is like when you are basically selling what you have to offer, your gifts, your talents, your skills, your service. You are a personal brand. So having that library of now videos is a legacy for me, because I got so much experience within 8 years. It's 8 years ago that I started that. So much experience that I now help my clients with the same, to build their own legacies online, to build their own communities, to attract their tribe, and to be aligned with who they truly are and their genius and their magic and their gifts in their personal brand. So I was playing, and I started to see my self-image change. First, within my own self, I started to feel more confident. I was putting myself out there. I was taking risks. I was having fun. I was allowing myself to meet people again. I was, not feeling contained, restricted by myself. And it was because I was putting on clothes that were feeling good, that were empowering, that felt like I was truly expressing the woman that I was inside. Even if sometimes I look like a clown, but sometimes I was so on point, and I felt like I could rule the world. I could take on the world, and I could rule the world. I felt like a queen. And this energy I got from dressing, from putting on the clothes that felt like me, that fit me, that looked good. It empowered me so much that I went for it. I went for my dream career. I became a fashion stylist. At first, I just wanted to work in fashion, but I became a fashion stylist. I began attracting more attention. I began running meetups in Bangkok for other entrepreneurs, other creatives, and I would meet fashion designers. I would meet press. The people that would come to these meetups were bloggers, other creatives, artists, musicians, and I began to work with them as a fashion stylist. And it was an incredible networking opportunity for everyone, including myself. And then life took a turn again, and I ended up in Paris, and I began wanting to do the same here, but the opportunities were not the same. I didn't have the same network, so I started personal shopping. I think it was an idea of a good friend of mine. He's like, hey, you work in fashion, so why not to do this? The shops here are incredible. And I was having a lot of fun. Exploring the fashion here. And so I started offering my personal shopping services, and they got so popular, and I started networking, and I started meeting other creatives, that I started working as a fashion stylist again in Paris, for agencies like Ford, Elite, New Models, just incredible, with the most incredible models that and celebrities that you see on runways. And it's an incredible time. And this was before the lockdown happened, and I was feeling really, really like I wanted to work with people one-to-one. This was my wish like my secret wish inside of me, and this was my dream. And since we're talking about style, my style also evolved when I moved to Paris. I started looking at Inès de la Fressange, Caroline de Margeret, fashion, like influencers that are French, and I started picking up their style, and I started also seeing just women on the street. Like when I would go and sit in cafes or on the metro or walking around, I would notice the incredible style women have here and with what ease they wear clothes. Like the thing is comfort, and this is probably another video altogether, but comfort is huge here. And for me, that was so incredible to realize that I can feel really, really comfortable in my clothes, and I can feel good in what I wear, and it's meant to be like that. And it's, you know, comfort and is synonymous with style, and I absolutely love that. So I adopted a lot of French style and French pieces like into my wardrobe, and I started curating my looks more, and I started being more intentional in what I wear. And then 5 years later, you know, like it's so natural to me, and now I have a very good idea of like what looks good on me, what doesn't, what fits, what doesn't. And this has been a journey, guys. It's been an ever unfolding, and I still experiment and I still wear crazy things, and I love it because allowing yourself to play is part of developing your personal style. Allowing yourself to play in every aspect of your life is super important. So I still keep that, and now the image that I want to portray compared to 8 years ago is completely different, and I dress the part. And I've learned how to dress the part, and it's so synonymous with success, and image is synonymous with style. What you put on your body, how the world perceives you by what you wear, it's not shallow, because it's a piece of the puzzle. Your image and your style are one. And so I just wanted to share this story with you for anyone watching, and I hope it inspires you to discover your own style. If you've been wanting to play with style, definitely do it. Definitely play. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and the best time of my life when I allowed myself to play. And I also offer style consultations to my clients. So if you're a personal brand as well, and you want to work on your image, your brand, your copy on social media, your brand presence, and grow your community there, definitely reach out to me. I will leave a link in the comments for you to check me out, follow me on Instagram, you know, let's get connected, and let's talk about all these fun things that are so important to being a woman, and so important to being an entrepreneur as well. And I'm just so happy to be here talking to you about this. So thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video and the story, and I'd love to hear what you think. And yeah, let me know, leave me a comment, and sending you lots of love until the next one, my loves. À la prochaine fois. Love you. Bye.